What's good, you guys? It's your boy Dylan here from D's Balls and Exotics. This is going to be one of my most requested videos of all time. I've been asked over and over again to do a care video and husbandry video on my Savannah Monitor Luda. And I know we mainly focus on snakes here, so I'm sorry guys if that's your thing. We will be getting back to snake content here shortly, but I've promised I'd make this video for quite a while, so here it is. Alright you guys, so the Savannah Monitor, also known as the Bosque Monitor throughout much of Europe, is native to Africa with a native range from Senegal east to Sudan. These animals in the wild are mainly a ground-dwelling species, but they have been found in the bushes as well as low-hanging trees as well. With that said, in captivity, I like to do my best to kind of imitate or mimic their natural environment as much as possible. You know, most of these animals are wild-caught specimens that were imported here and then sold as babies or farm-bred, in their native territories. So I just want to give them the best life I can, and Savannah monitors, much like any other monitor species, are extremely active animals. I'm sure you can hear them going off behind me right now, or in a number of my other videos. You'll probably hear that random scratching or running about in the videos. More than likely, that's him. He's a very active lizard, so I feel like providing as much enrichment and space to him as possible is the best thing we can do for him. With that said, in captivity, adults should have a minimum of an 8x4x4 enclosure with lots of, branches, stuff to climb about, big rocks to bask on. Plants are good, but I will say from, at least my personal experience, I've managed to keep 2 plants inside of Luda's enclosure, and I've tried with a lot more than that, and he's killed almost every single one. Not necessarily on purpose, he just tramples all over them and just doesn't care. With that said, also, they need a deep substrate. 18 to 24 inches is best, the deeper the better. These guys do love to burrow. I use a mix, personally, of soil, peat moss, sphagnum moss, and play sand. The mixture of this is really good. It holds humidity, it holds the burrows really well. Let's get into the heating and lighting. Like I mentioned, they do need a big basking area, so I actually custom made a rock out of colored grout and foam. Took a long process. If you guys are curious about that, drop a comment down below. Maybe I'll do a video on how I made that and possibly make a few other things using that same method for some of my other animals. My basking temps sit between 130 and 150 degrees. Now the basking spot, they shouldn't be sitting there all day. A basking spot should be hot enough where they go, they get their heat, and then they move about and they stay active. It's like in the wild, they're not sitting on their basking area all day. They're sitting on their basking spot when the temperature is right, when they need to warm up, and then they're going about their business. So I feel like in captivity, it's the best thing we can do to mimic that as well. They are going to need UVB lighting as well. Make sure you get the proper spectrum. I use the 13% Arcadia fixtures and bulbs. I really like their products. They last a long time, and they're just really good value for your money. I'm not sponsored by them. I just really love their products, and I really like using them. So just throwing that out there for you guys. I also have additional LEDs in there just to kind of help the plants grow a little bit. So in total, Luda's enclosure has 5 fixtures. That's a lot for most reptiles. With the heating and lighting covered, we try to keep our humidity around 50%. Now, I don't measure my humidity. I will say that right off the bat. I don't use any sort of gauges to measure humidity or anything. My ambient humidity in the room, because of all the animals we keep, is naturally around 50% in here. So I don't really have to worry about it with him. But I do occasionally water the plants as well as just mist down the cage every once in a while, just to kind of bump that humidity up and then let it naturally die back down. In the wild, they are opportunistic feeders, mainly feeding on insects, but they've also been found with birds, eggs, other reptiles, and even rodents in their stomach contents. With that said, we do our best to mimic this as well in captivity by offering a variety of insects from roaches to different kinds of worms, as well as the occasional quail chick, maybe even a quail egg, or a small rodent. I try to keep this very sparingly, so this is just how I do things. Some people will tell you, only feed them insects only, blah, blah, blah. you know what, guys, I've done my research. This is what works for me, and I feed him very sparingly on those other items. I feel like this is important. Just like in the wild, they're going to have a variety in their diet. I feel like they should do this in captivity as well. So what do you guys say we check out some more of my dude Luda here? And until next time, peace.